Rare Nation, what's going on? Let's talk about Jack Jones and let's talk about what a hell of a pickup it was by interim GM Champ Kelly and interim head coach Antonio Pierce. It was the first move that they made when they were announced taking over the jobs, the positions. And I dropped a video that day that titled Potential Steal because I took a look at Jack Jones back when he played in college with USC and Arizona State. And knowing that a lot of the draft analysts had him as a second round prospect, if it wasn't for some of the off field issues, he could have potentially went in the second round. And in the last few games, we're starting to see that potential. And so you got to give credit where credit is due, and you got to give a lot of credit to Champ Kelly, to Antonio Pierce for identifying it. And as soon as Jack Jones was released by the Patriots, they swooped him up immediately. And obviously, I'm going to get into the pick six that he had against the Chargers. But, one of the things that, whether you think Antonio Pierce is the right guy for the job, one of the things that I'm clearly seeing is I like what Champ Kelly is doing. So I want to give Champ Kelly some credit because there's going to be a lot of questions going into this offseason as to who's going to be the next GM. And he's making some moves that I think allow Mark Davis to really have some confidence into potentially giving him a damn good shot at the position. So with Jack Jones being one of those decisions. And so first and foremost, let's talk about the pick six. Not only was it a hell of a play, if you just look at the interception itself, right? One-handed interception, taking it back for six. If you break that play down, it is probably one of the most impressive interceptions that I've seen either in a very long time or ever. And so, do me a favor, man. If you think that's one of the best picks or pick sixes that you've ever seen, like this video, and give Jack Jones that support, because if you look at the way that interception happened, not only did Jack Jones had to do his homework, you can tell that he understood what was about to happen in front of him because Austin Eckler, he was actually lined up as the wideout. He was the number one receiver on that side, and he motioned inside into a bunch set. There was two other receivers up on the line of scrimmage. They were basically assigned to block first threat, right? First man coming, they got to pick up. And what Jack Jones did is not only did he time that snap perfectly, he knew it was coming, and he almost overran it. He had to actually reach back with one hand and pick that ball off and take it. So for him to be able to time it so perfectly and just know that was coming, that not only does that mean he's got the athletic ability to make that, he's got the instincts to make that, but he's also doing his homework. He's understanding the formation. He's understanding the tendency. He probably looked at the down and distance and knowing that that's a possible play that he's seen the Chargers run in the past, and he broke on that ball quick. It was one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive, pick six interception just in itself that I've ever seen, and for all those reasons. So, big ups to Jack Jones and the way that he's playing, the way that he has just stepped up to the plate based on what the rumors were and the antics were coming out of New England and even coming out of college. He had a lot of off-field issues. He wasn't gelling with New England. And for him to come over and Antonio Pierce be able to bring the best out of this kid, it does. Just like I was saying with Champ Kelly, it's also a way that Antonio Pierce is showing that he could potentially be that guy, that head coach that we need to lead this group of men to victory and to basically where we want to go as an organization. And that's a commitment to excellence. So that pick six was damn good. Again, hit that like button if you thought that was one of the most impressive interceptions, pick sixes that you have ever seen. And if you do that, if you could, subscribe to the channel, I would definitely appreciate it. So outside the pick six, and I was saying that I've been going over, the last 3-4 games that Jack Jones has been playing. I've been looking at the film. And with the pick six aside, one of the things that I'm seeing out of Jack Jones is not only is he really good in man-to-man coverage, he does a damn good job of staying on the hip of the receivers. You saw we basically almost pitched a shutout against Minnesota last week. He does a damn good job in man-to-man coverage. He's physical with the receivers. He stays on their hips. He basically sticks on them. Now, some of the crossing routes he's got to improve on, but guess what? I don't care if it's the best corner or the worst corner. On crossing routes, it's tough because one of the things that NFL offenses have become extremely good at is kind of running those pick plays and those rub routes. And so, but if you watch the film, last week against the Chargers, he did a damn good job on some of those routes going all the way across the field. He's basically staying on the hip of that receiver. And so in man-to-man, he's doing a damn good job. And also when he is assigned into zone coverage, what I'm seeing with him at a zone is he has some pretty damn good instincts. Playing zone can be difficult if you don't understand some of the concepts when in the route running. Okay, so for example, right, one of the terms that I always use when I coached football and I coached the defensive side, both sides, but mainly defense, is one of the things that defenders need to understand is when one receiver is leaving, another one's coming, right? So you got to make sure that your head's on a swivel. You're seeing where all the routes are coming. It doesn't matter if a guy is in your zone, but if he's leaving, another man is coming. And that's one of the things that Jack Jones actually does a really good job at, is when a receiver leaves, he sees where that next man is coming. And he also, at the corner of his eye, he's seeing where that quarterback is. Is that quarterback still in the pocket? Is that quarterback rolling out? Is he rolling his way? Is he rolling away from him? You can see by his body language and the way that he moves on the field is that he's actually seeing the entire field. And so I think in zone coverage, he's doing a damn good job. He's extremely aggressive in the run, which is good at times. There's been a couple times where he's lost the edge, which, look, I'd much rather see more aggression than less. Let's put it that way. Because you can coach up aggression. You can tailor it, right? You can coach around that. If a guy doesn't have aggression, you're not going to teach anybody to be aggressive. You can't teach aggressiveness. You either got it or you don't. And I'd much rather you have it, because then as a coach, you can kind of tailor your coaching to him and kind of show him ways how to approach a tackle as opposed to just flying in head first. Look at Amik Robertson. He's the same way. I love the aggressiveness of Amik Robertson. I'd much rather have it than not. So, he is a little over aggressive in the run game, but that's okay. We can tailor that. And so I think overall, what we're seeing out of Jack Jones right now is we're seeing that second round potential that a lot of the draft analysts basically had him going into the draft class a couple years ago. And so I love seeing that Antonio Pierce is bringing the best out of him, but I don't want to just give credit to Antonio Pierce. I want to give credit to Chris Ash. He's our defensive backs coach. I mean, he's getting the best, not only out of Jack Jones, but Amik Robertson, out of Trayvon Merrick, out of Marcus Epps, even out of Tyler Hall. Tyler Hall's another guy that is just balling right now. He's doing a hell of a job. So, at the end of the day, I want to give credit where credit's due. Jack Jones, he is stepping up to the plate. He is showing that he belongs in this league, and I love seeing what he's producing out there. So I just want to jump on here, kind of talk about him a little bit, give credit where credit is due. I want to see him continue for these next 3 games that we have, finish the season strong, because if he can, and if he does, do you think, let me know in the comments below, do you think he could be that number 1 shutdown corner that we've been looking for? We got rid of Marcus Peters. Now, he kind of did to himself, don't get me wrong. But Antonio Pierce and Champ Kelly felt comfortable with getting rid of Marcus Peters because I think they knew what they had in Jack Jones. And for them to make that move and for them to basically call that shot, again, another very impressive move by both those guys. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me again. Subscribe, turn on those notifications. And if you could, please like the video, because I'll be hitting you guys with much more as the season goes on and into the off season. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good one, and I'm out.